Welcome to our program on Kardec Radio.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my friends. Here in Ireland, it's 7:15. It's nice to have you all here with us today, 12th of August 2021. And I hope you are fine. Now the volunteers, all our Irish friends, thank you very much for your time and your availability. And today, we will keep going on Spirit's book study, and we will talk about questions 4 to 6 of the book.
Friends, thank you very much.
And this is a great opportunity in which we can share with you guys our viewpoint, and at the same time receive your viewpoint, and together here we can conclude. But anyway, good night, Wanderley. How are you, my friend?
All good, guys.
Yeah. Wanderley is see the smile in his face. He's going to holidays. Look the smile on his face.
Yeah.
He's going to on holidays. See? He doesn't care what's going on. He's already in holidays mode. Yeah.
True.
Yeah. So why don't you start with the all initial prayer, my friend?
Sure. Let's close our eyes. Take a deep breath. Concentrating here at this present moment, where we have the opportunity to be studying the Spirit's book, the work of the good spirits and Allan Kardec. Let's be thankful for this opportunity, which will help to clarify our mind and perhaps to open up our hearts. Let's be thankful for the lives we have, to be among friends and to be learning something new. Even if perhaps we don't agree with everything, at least we are challenging ourselves in order to search for the truth. We are looking for better ways in order to improve ourselves, to become better beings. At least for myself and Stevan here, and I believe for the most of the people here, the Spirit book is a great guidance for it. Perhaps for those who doesn't know much about the Spirit's book, it is going to be also. Thank you, God, for this opportunity, and so be it.
Okay.
Close the door here.
Hey, Don, how are you, my friend? I hope you're okay. And let's start. And just a quick recap. Last Thursday, Samantha and I we discussed questions 1 to 3, in which we spoke about what is God, what does mean by infinity, and if God is the infinity. In a summary of the summary, which is also the introduction for the question number 4, we need to understand that God is the cause, not the consequence. So he's the center, and using the Spirit's words, like defining his infinity, it's not correctly, because he is the one who created the infinity. He is the one who creates everything. So he is beyond the infinity. Okay, so that's more or less what we have in these three questions here. And in question number 4, Kardec asked the spirits, where may we find proof of the existence of God? And I know a lot of people ask that questions, especially our friends who are atheists, who doesn't believe in God. They always, oh, there is no proof, there is nothing. Also, the materialists, they say, hey, I wanna see God, I wanna touch, I wanna something, I want a more evidence. I think that's the word, evidences of God's existence. And brilliantly, the Spirit says, in the axiom you apply to all your sciences. Let's think about it. What is axiom? Axiom perhaps is not a well-known word among us, but the axiom, we use this in our science because uh, when you have a proposition like the scientists or the mathematicians, oh my gosh,
Mathematicians.
mathematicians, the mathematicians, when they want to prove a equation, a formula is true, or all these things, no, when they say this is an axiom, there's axioms is when you assume, is assumed without proof, for sake of studying the consequences that follow from it. So the axiom, remember when I said a few minutes ago, God is the cause. So the axiom is the cause. So we are studying this to prove that. Like, also I have here some definition from the dictionary. The dictionary says, a universally accepted principle or rule, a self-evident truth that requires no proof. So let's go back now saying that, let's go back now to the question and to the answer here. And the answer is, in an axiom you apply to all your sense, there is no effect without a cause. If you would search for the cause of whatever is not the work of human beings, the reason will answer your question. So, more or less is like this. We do have everything in the universe working perfectly. I would say if the Earth has, I don't know what's the angle Earth is, but if it's 2 degrees more or 2 degrees less, life would be impossible to have. It would be impossible to have life on Earth. If the Earth is like some kilometers near to the sun, it's impossible. If it's some kilometers away from the sun, it's impossible. So we are in the right spot in order to allow us to exist, to exist the human beings. So if this is intelligence, the cause of that intelligence is an intelligent being. So it's not by chance. Oh, just we just had a big bang, boom, and we exploded, and then all the plants formed, the universe, and out of blue, the plants is correctly in the right angle and everything. So there must be an intelligent mind, an intelligent uh, 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 creation behind it. The problem we have with this proof is because we human beings we we we, um, we put in God our characteristics instead of we get his characteristics. So, in other words, is he has our imperfections. We created him with our imperfections. We have with our problems. We try to humanize God instead of let him be the cause of everything, the, the first thing of everything. So, with this introduction, Andre, do you have anything to say?
No, I think you said everything. But as you said, what we have to understand, Kardec is going to say that, I think in question 7 or question 8, that chance does not create anything. It's the same principle. If I take all the ingredients for a cake, put in a box, start to shake that box in the air, and throw that on the table, am I going to have a cake? If that doesn't happen with a simple thing, which is a cake, so chance and just an accident and a bit of force does not create a perfect cake, why would scientists want to apply this for the universe or for Earth, which is something much more complex and much more perfect? So if accident cannot create something such simple as a cake, how could accident create something perfect as the universe? So it doesn't make much sense. Of course, I understand what science they say, and like when you said, the distance of Earth and the Sun, but we have to understand that we are seeing that now when Earth is this beautiful planet, even if there are humans we are destroying, but Earth wasn't always like this. Earth adapted itself with the distance and time and things like this. And one thing which we're gonna see here is that everything adapts itself, but everything has the control of God behind. So nothing is left like without any kind of guidance. So there is no such thing in the universe as any meter or any square or any centimeter which doesn't have any kind of principle behind it. This principle must be something that perhaps we don't see or we don't perceive that yet. We call it God, but you can call anything that you want. We in the Western world, we took this name God, but and also in the other planets, in the other realms, they see God a little bit different than we see, because we see God, as you said, a bit humane still. We still see God with all the things that we have in the spiritual world. They see God as this beautiful, perfect energy. But yeah, and as he says here, to doubt God's existence would be to deny that every effect has a cause, to believe that something could be resulted from nothingness. That's what we said. So if anything in science needs a cause, why would the universe be different? And the universe is quite big. So yeah, I'd say that's it. Nothing really much here. I think the question is quite self-explanatory, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, we can go to question 5, which says, like, when Kardec, all human beings have within them the intuitive sentiment of God's existence. What can we conclude from this? Let's think like this. The East world, most of the East world is Christian, okay? But
West.
the West, no, East.
West. East is
West, yeah, the West, yeah, exactly, yeah. It's Christian, but this is just like, I think the number is between 3 and 7% of the population.
I don't remember the numbers exactly.
More or less like this, but don't look the number. Just say is the small portion of it is Christian, but the other 93%, 90%, whatever number, the great majority, they still have a notion of God. They still have a notion of something above them, something superior to them. Or could be one, could be many, but most of them, they say there is something above me. Like the Indians, they contemplate God. If you go to the African villages in the middle of nowhere, they do believe in something. If we go to India, they believe in many gods. If you go to China, they always do believe in something. Again, what the mother said, some call God, nature, or gods, or whatever. But this notion we do have in ourselves. We do have this kind of feeling that is something above us. And the interesting thing here is one atheist said, "Oh, I don't believe because I don't see God, I don't touch, I don't do anything." Okay, it's his position. But for those friends who are solicitor, barrister, you probably know this better than me. But we can say that the absence of an evidence does not mean there is. In other words, is because I cannot prove, do not prove that it doesn't exist.
Steven,
Okay?
you have
Go
to
ahead.
understand like this. We, as the Western world, most of the people nowadays they are disbelieving in God or in religions because of what humanity has done with it. We have killing, we have been killing many people. We have been destroying countries and nations in the name of God, and each one of us we are carrying our own God.
Yeah.
So if you go back to the principle as it says here, the man in the beginning, the population which started Earth, which they were living more or less only with them. They had no relationship with other tribes. Most of them, they were isolated. They have this belief already that something was there. Once we start to exchange ideas, we start to have this, and once you want what I have, you would kill me. So some people they have used religion to do this. So the disbelief that we have with God is because of humanity. But as you said, we are trying to prove something that it's impossible to prove. Guys, it's just simple. It's just things like this. We realized about the atom about what? 150 years ago? 170 years ago? Humanity has not even been able to reach the deepest part of our ocean yet. And now, because we have we have astronomy and we can kind of have an idea what is far away there, but it's just an idea. It's just mathematics. It's just a progression. We want to try to understand everything. We want to try to understand God. Emmanuel says to us that God would never not show. He doesn't would use the word show, but he says that he's not going to be trying to prove to mankind that he exists. Why? Because as Kardec said here, he left its creation. It's up to man. So Emmanuel says that God does not bound towards humanity. He helps humanity because he's a father, he's a loving father, but he's not going to say, hey guys, I'm here, believe me, and things like this. No, but he gave everything in the existence for us to understand that he's there. So we cannot understand many things yet. And now scientists or some atheists, they want to claim this does not exist. That's impossible. Just as Stevan said, because I can't see, I can't touch. But guys, you couldn't touch anything a few hundred years ago. We couldn't grasp that there was energy surrounding us. And now, 200 years later, we are claiming that we know everything. So I think whoever says this, if someone says to me, like there is a Brazilian philosopher, Mário Sérgio Cortella, he says that even some people, they don't believe, if they say that's not really the problem, that thing doesn't exist or exist, he says that the clever one always talks about probability. He's never gonna say yes or no because he's never sure. So no one can be sure about anything, but we have the things that God created to us. So if we were humble, we would say, I don't know, at least that. But say that it doesn't exist, I think it's too much, I think.
Yeah, I Google here, and the correct sentence is: the absence of evidence is not evidence of absence.
Yep.
Okay? So, in other words, like we have a flower. And if we start to question ourselves, who created this, who was it, a certain point we will reach a question, okay, if God was the one who created this, who creates God? And not the answer. The thinking behind this is nobody created him, because if he was created by someone, that person who created God is God, because he is the cause. And unfortunately, many passages of the Spirit's book, the Spirit says, hey, you don't have vocabulary, you don't have
Knowledge.
not knowledge. There is no words to explain that, because we don't reach that. It's like you explain to a 2 years old child an equation.
Knowledge.
So, that the person doesn't have knowledge to understand that, don't have the background to understand that, and perhaps we are in this situation. That's why we cannot easily answer the question. Oh, God's there. That's all. Hey, God, this is guy, this Wanderley, God, and we cannot do this. But the question is, and what we need to put in ourselves is, if someone create God, who create God is God.
Yeah, but that's the thing, Steve. I think if it's like Kardec said, I think it was in one of his letters, that if you get someone who really wants to disbelieve and disagree, that person will find many arguments,
Oh,
such
yes.
as you're finding. So, in the end of the day, Kardec is not doing this for those who don't believe. He said, it's here. If you guys want, happy days. If you guys don't want to believe, that's fine. So, what I'm trying to say is like this. Doesn't matter if you get someone, like we got experience with someone who was sending emails to us before. We're not going to say the name of the person here, of course. But the person, and the more people, they did the same with us, that they didn't believe whatever explanation we gave to them. They said, but this doesn't make sense, blah, blah, blah. That's okay. So here, when Kardec is asking the proofs of the existence of God, he's giving these proofs, which perhaps they're not so solid for some, but for those who have this inner feeling, like Kardec mentioned here, that would be enough. So Kardec is not really trying to give here as a really scientific explanation about God. It's here. If you want to believe on it, happy days. If you don't want, that's fine. So that's why I think here, that's why Kardec doesn't go, he has only a few questions about this, like 12 questions. No, 12, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, six questions about this, because I believe the spirits and Kardec, they said, look, we're trying to say to people, but if they don't want to understand and don't believe, that's fine. That's the message which I get from this part here of the book.
Yeah, and also we need to understand that when you it's like when you're gonna talk with someone and that person already have a strong feeling or sentiment about something, and you try to convince that person they are wrong or think rethink. If that person is not willing, is not open to accept challenge, you will not convince them.
See, I wouldn't say even convincing, but in philosophy we have this.
You don't have a dialogue.
Yeah, to have a dialogue, at least you're gonna be talking to someone who says, "Look, I don't believe in what you are saying. I don't agree with you, but what you are saying makes some sense. I'm gonna think about." And that's what, once you think in the parable of the sower, when Jesus said to us that there are some soils which they are not ready yet, but the little seed goes there, grows a little bit, and then dies. What is Jesus trying to say? That there are some hearts which perhaps they are not ready yet to accept certain truths, but at least they are trying to do it. So those ones who are they don't believe, but at least they said, but I'm not too sure. These are the ones which Spirit is made for. Not for those ones. Kardec says that, I think, in the introduction of the Spirit's book, when he says that we are not here to try to convince that one who does not want to be convinced. No.
Yeah.
That one, if he doesn't want to believe or to accept that he doesn't know everything, it's fine. Because everyone who says it doesn't exist or that doesn't exist, that person already said that's the entire truth. And there is no entire truth. Something that we learn in philosophy, that there is no truth.
Yeah.
There is no way you're going to say what is true for me is true for Stevan. The doubt aspect of our brain always will make us to challenge ourselves, to pursue for something new. And that's what I believe, especially the Spirit's book is trying to say to us, hey, there is something new knowledge here. Be open. If you don't want to believe yet, that's fine, but at least be open for it,
Yeah. So our friend here, Rosangela Pierre, she says, good afternoon, everybody. I'm in Houston, beautiful Houston. I love Galveston Beach, my dear. The person knows that God exists when she feels God inside him or herself. It's perfectly, yeah. It's correctly, Rosangela. I agree with you 100%. But the point is, we are referring here to a person who wants to see it, want to touch it, want evidences, and we are talking something about feeling. Everyone has a different feeling, a different sensations. Someone is more emotional, someone is not at all emotional. So like let's say we are here in Europe and we are from Brazil and you are in America, in United States. Think like this. Brazil and most South America countries were colonized by someone, okay? And we always learn how to be under someone. Someone was always in control of ourselves. Differently from what happened in the United States and here in Europe, because here in Europe it was the colonizers who colonized the Americas. And we do have that feeling of, okay, we have this cultural background we accept there is someone beyond me, and we easily understand. If I say to you, oh Rosangela, oh Wanderley, you have to have faith, you have to be strong. You understand what I'm saying. But when we gonna talk with an American or an European person, and you say, hey my friend, you need to be faith, the first question they're gonna ask me is where I find faith. Define faith. I buy it, where I can get it.
True.
You know, and on top of this, let's say the cherry on the top of this cake, the religions made all that bad things in the past here, especially here in Europe, with the killing people in name of God, doing this in name of God. That so on top of this, become harder to us here penetrate, transpose this barrier they create. So it's cultural barrier. It's not because the person is not intelligent. Is no, we're not saying this. It's something cultural. That's why brilliantly and wisely, Kardec gave us different approach, different ways to say the same thing, to explain the same thing.
Steven, just to sorry to interrupt you, but the problem that I'm finding here is like this: people that associate God with religion.
Yes.
Once we start to see God as an energy which has no religion, has no country, has no sex, doesn't care what we believe in, we're gonna open up our minds. The gods which Baruch Spinoza spoke about, Einstein spoke about, Carl Sagan spoke about. They see God even if they don't, because all of them, they don't believe in the personal God. Oh, that's the God of Israel. That's the God of the Jewish. That's the God of the Christian. That's the God of the. No, they don't see God in this way. They believe there is a force, and this force is like a conductor. He conducts things in the universe, but they don't see religion. Like when they see, a lot of them, they have a hard time to believe in Jesus as the Son of God. But a lot of them, they agree with the moral teachings of Jesus. Like Kardec said in the Gospel according to Spiritism, Baruch Spinoza was a Jew, but he admired the teachings, the teachings of Jesus, the moral teachings of Jesus. But once you are trying to say that there is, like in some religion they say, or some parts of Christianity, I believe it's much more about translation and interpretation when they say, oh, Jesus is the only one. So how about the other ones? Are they not good? How about all the Asians? Are they not good enough? So once we lose this religious aspect related to God, we're going to go to, that's why I believe in the future, people, they're going to see God not as a being, but as this energy, as even Mother Nature they may call, because God doesn't say, I want you to call me God. The God of Abraham, the God of the Mosaic tradition, yes, that's a God who says, you must believe me, you must love me. If you don't do it, I'm going to kill yourself, I'm going to kill your neighborhood. But this kind of interpretation of God was from the Jewish people. Like once we see God in this bigger way, we cannot accept that God would say that to them. So, or there is someone lying, or there is a misinterpretation. I don't think anyone lied in the past. Maybe some people they did. We're not here to judge, but there were misinterpretations throughout time. There were misinterpretations the way in which they perceived God. But God is this vast energy, an energy who does not want our adoration, who does not want our praise. Perhaps when we say that praise is good for us in Spiritism, we are using praise as a tool to connect ourselves to spirituality. But God doesn't want us just be sitting in a church, oh God, Holy Mother of Jesus, God. No, he doesn't want this. He wants this connection to come naturally from our heart, because he understands there is nothing related to religion here. We associate pray with religion. Quantum physics associate pray as a way of elevate your vibration, not with religion. So once we see God as energy, as something which perhaps astronomy and physics can explain a bit more, we're gonna leave all these dogmas behind. Then perhaps I believe the next few generations, they're gonna see God with a lighter eyes, because they're not gonna associate God of killing, of if you don't do this, you are my enemy. Because unfortunately, we are still associating God with this, all this past, not past done by God, but past which was done by people who used the name of God. But God itself never did anything against anyone. And in Spirit's book, we have this. All the calamities that we have, all the destruction that you have on earth, they are part of bigger loss, you know?
And because we are going against the laws created by God, it's not by punishment, it's not the same.
He's not doing like this. I'm going to kill you because you don't believe me. Oh, I'm going to put you there because... No, guys, leave this. You see, sorry, Steven, just conclude. There is a recent movie about Moses with Christian Bale, the guy who made Batman. Who made Batman, you know? And in this movie, he's Moses, you know? And once Moses, this actor, sees God, God is a children, is a little boy. You see how cinema have perceived God as a kid. So we are still, for me, it's like if the director is trying to, maybe unconsciously saying that we still cannot really see God in full. We see God with this childish mind that we have. And this childish mind that we have is the mind which is still putting God in this place or in that place. Yeah. Even the cinema, we see this, you know what I mean?
And also, many examples like this. Like, for example, in the Almighty God, the movie is a comedy with Jim Carrey. God was Morgan Freeman. In the book, in the movie The Shack, God was a certain part of the movie. God was a black woman.
Yeah.
And at the end of the movie, God was a Indian, American Indian guy. So that perception is God, it is what comforts you.
That's it.
So if it is supreme intelligence, cause of everything for you is a child, happy days. There is no right, there is no wrong. That is what comforts your heart. That is what gives you hope. That is what instinct the charity feelings, to spread the love. Even though you say God's the nature, happy days. There is no problem, my friends. The problem is, again, we try to humanize God, and we imprisoned him in a bubble called religion, and a lot of people do not accept it. But well said, Wanderley. Well, very good. I like very, very much what you said. It is the message we want to bring to you guys today. And also we can see here the answer given by the spirits, that God exists. Otherwise, where would such a sentiment come from if it were not based on something real? This is an application of the principle that there is no effect without a cause.
That's it.
Let's see our friend Leah. Hi, Leah. Thank you. Let's see what she wrote to us. I used to and still do have a problem with the Old Testament versus the New Testament. The blood of the Lamb was placed above the door. Their families were saved from losing their children. God is a jealous God. So confusing my life studies with different Christian churches. Leah, how am I going to start this? We need just to understand that the Old Testament, it's more full of how to say languages.
Yeah, there is a lot of
Figuras de linguagem. They use some interpretations in order to say something. Okay?
Yeah.
And also, we are talking about a lot of people without control. So they needed to create some rules, something in order to make that happen. I'm not saying I do personally. I do believe that the Old Testament it is correct. It's fine. We just needed to transport ourselves to that time in order to understand what they mean. And if you want to understand the Old Testament based on the knowledge you have today, it doesn't make sense at all.
I agree.
But when you transport yourself to that time, when you understand the culture of that time, unfortunately, Leah, that is a professor. He's a Brazilian, Celestino.
Celestino, yeah.
Severino Celestino. He is a great study about the Old Testament and New Testament. He's my view. He is one of the highest guys in this knowledge who analyze, who not just analyze the Old Testament based on Catholic dogmas, Catholic rules, or Protestant dogmas, Protestant rules. No, he analyzed this impartially. You know, if I find something in English, of course I will send to you. But there is a lot of symbology there. Yeah. Okay, Wander, thank you. So there is a lot of symbology in that terms, because when we reread and is written there, say, "Oh my God, they did this." No, it's a symbology. Okay. Okay. For example, you said like God is a jealous God. Come on, they need to control the people. Moses need to control that people. Imagine a entire population walking for 40 years in a desert, looking for the promised land. They are under control. They need to control it. So they need to create that. They need to put someone afraid of something. They need to make that event in order to put order and reach the goal. Like it's the same thing when we were saying Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve was clearly a race, not a man or a woman. No, it's a race. There's a lot of things we need to understand there. Okay? Let me see what Rob is saying here. In of current condition, the concept of our Creator quite possibly might be beyond our understanding. Agreed. Focus on being the best you can. Be someone who respects all. That's it, my friend. That's it. It is. It is. Again, if for you, God, it is the sun, happy days. For you, God, it is the mother nature. Happy days. It's there is no again, there is no right, there is no wrong. That is just what gives you comfort, gives you not answer our questions, but that somehow they can give you peace. Leah, I will try to find some studies about it. I will try to, even if you like, guys, try to organize some live when we can talk about the Old Testament. I will talk to Severino Celestino, and he can guide me, and I will try to put those words in English, some evidence and something like this, and we can go through it. But again, my dear, that is not wrong with the Old Testament. What is wrong is our misinterpretation about it. Okay? Okay, well, yeah. Okay, I love this. Thank you very much. Yes. Yes, okay. I will organize that. Um, and we will have this pretty soon. Okay? So then is missing here the question number 6. And the question number 6 is, let me read from here because it's a better English here. Question number 6. Couldn't the intuition about the existence of God that we have within ourselves be the consequence of education, the product to acquire ideas? Couldn't the intuition about the existence of God that we have within ourselves be the consequence of education, the product of acquired ideas? So, uh, we already said that we are limited. We are limited by our knowledge. We are limited by our culture. We are limited by about uh, 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 um, how we grow up, our frustrations, our shadows. We are limited about a lot of things. Okay, and how, even though we are limited about this, we still have the feeling of the existence of God, and this explains people in the past. No, as we said here, the Indians, like they have the god of thunder, the rain. They sing for this, they sing for that. So they have the same feeling. And I like what Kardec says here, because he said, if the sentiment of the existence of a supreme being were only the product of education, it would not be universal. Like all scientific ideas, it would only exist in the minds of those who receive such education. So, again, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if this person is Christian or not, if they do believe in God or not. They have that feeling. Because for you to deny God, to say, oh, God doesn't exist, you must recognize that He exists. You must recognize that He, let's put this, He exists in quotes here, because you're denying. You cannot deny something you don't know exists. You got my point? This is what we need to be aware of. We need to understand. And that's why Spiritism will never, ever impose to you something. All the understanding, it's up to you. It's based on your experiences, it's based on your knowledge, it's based on your culture, it's based in your beliefs. Okay? Okay? And we have the question 6 here. Do you have any questions, guys? Let me see, because we just have here 9 minutes. Let me see if you have any question. No? So I like your everyone's comments here. Is this is one of the great barriers we need to overcome here in Europe, or you guys in the United States. Because people, they are not approachable. They already have that preconcepts. They already have the limitation, and they want to hear anybody who goes against it, or not that goes against. Let me change it. Just let me rephrase. Who challenge what they have as a truth, and this happens to us as well. Anyone who challenges what we already defined as truth, we have problems with that. You know, that's why, again, Kardec brilliantly he uses the principle, the universal principle. He used the scientific method. He understood, so you don't need to accept, you need to create your evidence, you need to be satisfied. If you are convinced, change your mind. If you're not convinced, don't change your mind. Don't forget, Kardec says, if one day science prove that Spiritism is wrong, follow science. Said by him. Okay, so let's wrap up here. And next week, we start from question number 7. I don't want to go very long in these questions, probably 3 questions by live here, because I don't want to say a lot of things quickly, and you don't understand anything. I rather I prefer going slowly, going in small steps, in order to be able to see you, because it's important for me getting your feedback, getting your comments here, uh, to measure if we are in the right path or not. Okay? So let me do the final prayer. And I would like to ask everyone once again to raise up your thoughts, to make connection with superior spirits, mentors of this life, mentors of Kardec Radio, to be with us, enlighten ourselves, helping us understand the enigmas, the challenges, help us to understand how to move forward in order to achieve our goals, to become a better person. So be it. Amen. Okay, okie dokie. Leah, yeah. This is why I study with you all. Thank you, Leah. And Rosangela said, thank you all for the words today. Thank you, Rosangela. Yes. So, yeah, please, every Tuesday, every Thursday, 7:15 Irish time, we are here. Also, we do have the Spiritual Light every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Sunday's talk. So we are here trying, no, we're trying to spread the Spiritism in English to everyone. Because in Portuguese, you do have amazing guys, amazing team, amazing talks every single day. Every single day. Sometimes you have like 3 lives at the same time with a lot of good, really good people, and you need to choose. And we don't have much resources in English, but thankfully, who follow us actually on the spiritual light, you saw I did a lot of announcements and a lot of events in English. So this is amazing. This is wonderful, and this is part of your contribution. Okay, so I wish you all a wonderful weekend. I'll see you on Tuesday. Sunday, Samantha will give the talk. For those who want to follow, it's 11:15 a.m. Ireland time, and Samantha will be with you guys. I'll see you next Tuesday. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day. Bye bye. God bless you all. Thank you.